Hello, welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this module, I will discuss on persistent organic pollutants. I would like to introduce what are these compounds, their properties. Then the United Nations Environment Program has classified 12 organochlorine compounds and they have referred them as dirty dozen. So, I will discuss them. Then the properties of different persistent organic pollutants, their sources and their health effects. Organic substances that are persistent, bioaccumulative and possess toxic characteristics that may cause adverse effects on human health and environment are called persistent bioaccumulative toxic substances, also referred as PBTs. Persistent organic pollutants are a subclass of PBTs and they are prone to long range atmospheric transport and deposition, and they include both man-made and natural compounds. The United Nations Environment Program has listed 12 organochlorine persistent organic pollutants as the dirty dozen. These are the dirty dozen compounds. They include dioxins and furans. These are polychlorinated dibenzopyridioxin and polychlorinated dibenzofuran, then polychlorinated biphenyls abbreviated as PCBs, hexachlorobenzene, organochlorines that are used as pesticides and they include DDT and its metabolites, then chlorodyne, toxaphene, dialdrin, aldrin, endrin, heptachlor and Mirex. There are other persistent organic pollutants also, and these pollutants are toxic. They are still in widespread production and use in both the industrialized and the less industrialized countries. They include polyaromatic hydrocarbons, hexachlorobenzene isomers such as organochlorine pesticides like lindane, organotin compounds which are used as antifouling agents for ships, then organic mercury compounds, other pesticides like pentachlorophenol, endosulfan, atrazine, chlorinated paraffins which are used in cutting oils and lubricants, polybrominated diphenyl ethers which are used as flame retardants, then certain phthalates like dibutyl phthalate and diethyl hexyl phthalate which is mainly used in as a plastic softener, especially in polyvinyl chloride. Now, some of these compounds may persist in the environment for periods of years and may bioaccumulate by factors of up to 10,000 fold. Therefore, they are persistent organic pollutants and are of concern. These compounds mainly possess 4 important properties, that is persistence, bioaccumulation, long range transport and toxicity. Persistence is the property of a substance to remain in the environment by resisting chemical and biological degradation. It is measured as a half-life which denotes the time necessary for half of the chemical to be degraded, assuming that the degradation process follows first order kinetics depicted from the first order rate constant equation as Ct is equal to C naught exponential minus RT. Here C naught denotes the concentration at time 0, Ct is the concentration at time t, R is the rate constant for degradation and the T is the time for degradation. The degradation of POPs in the atmosphere may also occur through reaction with OH radicals which are abundant in the atmosphere, photolysis and reaction with ozone and nitrogen oxides, while in soil, water and sediments they undergo degradation mainly by microbial action. The rate of degradation of these compounds depends on the type of bacteria present, their concentration, then induction that is relevant to the chemical undergoing degradation and the ambient conditions like temperature, moisture, availability of substrate. They may also degrade by photolysis, hydrolysis or by chemical reactions. Bioaccumulation is a property by which a chemical reaches a greater concentration in the tissues of an organism than in the surrounding environment, which may include water, sediment, soil and air, and it is usually undertaken by the organism principally through respiratory and dietary uptake routes. Bioaccumulation is also referred to as bioconcentration or biomagnification. The magnitude of bioaccumulation depends on the hydrophobicity of the chemical and the ability of a species to eliminate the chemical from its body by excretion or through metabolism. The toxicity of a compound constitutes a very high risk, particularly for those who live in the areas where these compounds are produced, or even if a person is living far away from the area of its production. And it is also toxic because it ultimately concentrates at such places which may be as far as from the production area, like regions in the Arctic. The toxicity depends on the species, sex and age of the organism which is affected. The adverse effects of these toxic compounds may be loss of body weight, hepatotoxicity, gastric disorders, porphyria, carcinogenesis, immunotoxic effects and changes in the development and reproductive function and in the nervous and endocrine system of an organism. Long range environmental transport, the persistent organic pollutants, they are semi volatile in nature, and in the environment they may either exist in the gas phase or they may be partitioned on the substrate surfaces. So, in the due course of time they can be transported through long distances. At ordinary environmental temperatures they can cycle among air, water and soil. And how these compounds undergo environmental transport? Now, this is favored by the warm temperatures which favor their evaporation from the earth's surface in the tropical and the subtropical regions, while cool temperatures at high latitudes favor their deposition from the atmosphere onto soil and water. The long range transport of persistent organic pollutants has been referred to as grasshopper effect, as illustrated in this diagram. These pollutants evaporate from the soil in the warmer countries where they are still used and travel in the atmosphere through cooler regions, condensing and again depositing when the temperature drops. They condense, deposit and accumulate in the higher latitudes due to their greater absorption on atmospheric particulate matter, slowing down of decomposition reactions and lowering of their evaporation rates from water. All these are facilitated by low temperatures. Hence, these compounds can migrate to higher latitudes in a series of relatively short jumps, and these are therefore referred to as grasshopper effect. Now, these are some of the persistent organic pollutants. So, one of them is polychlorinated biphenyl, abbreviated as PCBs. These are chlorinated aromatic hydrocarbons which are structurally similar to the dioxins. They are produced by the direct chlorination of biphenyl using ferric chloride and or iodine as the catalyst. They were produced in the early period, and the products which were made in 1977 still exist, although their production has been phased out. There are 209 persistent organic PCB compounds, and they vary in the number and position of the attached chlorines. They have wide ranging physical and chemical properties which can affect their environmental fate and biological activity. The di-, tri and tetrachlorobiphenyls are light oily fluids. The pentachlorobiphenyls are heavy viscous oils, while the more highly chlorinated biphenyls are greases and waxes. They are dramatically stable compounds. The structural placement of chlorine affects the biological activity of PCBs. For example, 3,3-4,4-5,5- hexachlorobiphenyl, commercially called as CB169, it is a non-ortho PCB, that is the ortho positions are not chlorinated, it does not have a chlorine atom. The non-ortho property allows the two rings to rotate, and these compounds are generally more bioactive. The lower compound is 22-33-66- hexachlorobiphenyl, commercially called as CB136. Here all the ortho positions are filled. This compound is structurally rigid and is less bioactive. The PCBs are used as coolants, lubricants in transformers, capacitors, hydraulic fluid adhesives. They are used as fire retardants, pesticides, then inks and carbonless reproducing papers. Their health effects include lung and nose irritation, abdominal pain. They affect blood and liver function, cause fatigue, headache, numbness and tingling, affect skin causing chloracne, rashes and cause grey brown discoloration. Infants may be exposed to these compounds through placental transfer or breast milk, and they are accompanied by low birth weight, problem with motor skill, decreased short term memory, depressed immune function, decreased IQ, and may also have defects in their teeth enamel. Dioxins and furans are planar tricyclic compounds which possess similar chemical structures and chemical properties. They are formed as unintentional byproducts in a number of chemical processes and combustion processes like volcanic eruptions and forest fires, manufacture of chemicals, pesticides, steel and paints, pulp and paper bleaching, exhaust emissions, production of solvents such as trichloroethene and perchloroethene. They are insoluble in water but highly soluble in fat. They can bind to sediment and other organic matter. They are absorbed in animal and human fatty tissue being soluble in fat. They are non-biodegradable, persistent, and therefore they bioaccumulate in the food chain. The toxicity of these compounds depends on the extent and pattern of chlorine substitution. The most toxic dioxins are those which contain 3 or 4 beta chlorine atoms, while those dioxins containing alpha chlorine atoms are less toxic. The most toxic furan congeners have chlorine in all the beta positions. 2378 TCDD having 4 beta chlorine and no outlying chlorine is the most toxic dioxin. Dioxin congeners that have 3 beta chlorine atoms but no or only 1 alpha chlorine atom are appreciably toxic. Fully chlorinated dioxin OCDD is less toxic as all alpha positions are occupied by chlorine. Monochloro and dichlorodioxins are also not very toxic even though chlorine atoms are present at the beta positions. Furan 23478 congener with 1 chlorine in beta position and no alpha chlorine atoms is the most toxic furan. The dioxin and furan molecules, because of their coplanar geometry and size, they readily fit into the cavity in a specific biological receptor. The complex of the molecule and the receptor then can pass through cell membranes and thereby initiate their toxic action. The average residence time of these compounds in the human body is 7 years. So, they are highly persistent in the human system also. Their health effects include acute lethality, wasting syndrome, thymic and splenic atrophy, impairment of immune responses, hepatotoxicity and porphyria, chloracne and dermal lesions, tissue specific hypo and hyperplastic responses. They may cause disruption of multiple endocrine pathways, lead to carcinogenesis, teratogenicity and reproductive toxicity. DDT, it is para-dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane. It was widely used during the Second World War to protect the troops and civilians from the spread of malaria, typhus and other vector-borne diseases, and by Sir Winston Churchill hailed it as a miraculous compound in 1945. It is also used on a variety of agricultural crops for control of disease vectors. So, as a result of its overuse, its environmental concentration increased rapidly and its adverse effects were seen on the reproductive ability of wild birds as it indirectly got incorporated into their bodies. In the early 1970s, severe restrictions and bans in many countries was imposed on its use and production because of the adverse health effects it could cause. Now, DDT is chemically a substituted ethane. It is a white crystalline solid with no odor or taste. It is a man-made organochlorine consisting of a mixture of dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane isomers. It is made by a reaction between chlorine gas and double benzene ring structure under optimal temperature and pressure conditions. It is highly insoluble in water. Solubility varies from 0.001 to 0.04 milligrams per liter. However, it is soluble in most organic solvents. It is semi-volatile, lipophilic, that is fat soluble, and it partitions readily into the fat of all living organisms, and thus it bioconcentrates and biomagnifies. Due to its low vapor pressure, slow rate of evaporation, less reactivity with light and chemicals and microorganisms in the environment, and low solubility in water, it can persist in the environment for many years. In most animal species, DDT is metabolized into dichloro-diphenyl dichloroethane called as DDE or DDD by the elimination of HCl. DDT is also produced slowly in the environment by the degradation of DDT under alkaline conditions and by certain DDT resistant insects which detoxify DDT by this transformation. These breakdown products of DDT are also persistent in the environment and are more persistent than the parent compound, as they are almost non-degradable biologically and are fat soluble. The toxicity of DDT is related to its insecticidal properties, and this is mainly because of its molecular shape than due to its chemical interaction with the specific species. Structurally, DDT molecule contains 2 tetrahedral carbon atoms in the ethane unit and 2 flat benzene rings. In insects, DDT, because of its 3-dimensional shape, becomes wedged in the nerve channel that leads out from the cell of the nerve. This channel usually transmits impulses only as needed by the sodium ions. A continuous series of sodium initiated nerve impulse is produced as the DDT molecules keep the channel open. As a result, the molecules of the insect twitch constantly, eventually exhausting it with the convulsions that lead to their death. Hexachlorobenzene is a chlorinated aromatic hydrocarbon, a white needle-like crystalline solid at room temperature. It is insoluble in water, sparingly soluble in cold alcohol, chloroform, and soluble in benzene, ether, and carbon disulfide. It is stable under normal temperature and pressures. It is combustible but not readily ignited. On decomposition, it emits highly toxic fumes of HCl and other chlorinated compounds and carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. It is distributed throughout the environment. It is mobile and resistant to degradation, absorbed by plants and animals, and can bioaccumulate through the food chain. It is industrially prepared through the chlorination of benzene at 150 to 200 degrees centigrade using a ferric chloride catalyst, or from the distillation of residues from the production of perchloroethylene. It is also synthesized by refluxing hexachlorocyclohexane isomers with sulfuryl chloride or chlorosulfonic acid in the presence of a ferric chloride or aluminum catalyst. It may also be produced as a byproduct in the production of a large number of chlorinated compounds, particularly lower chlorinated benzenes and pesticides such as tetrachloroethylene, trichloroethylene, carbon tetrachloride, vinyl chloride, atrazine, propazine, simrazine, pentachlorophenol, chlorothalonil, and pentachloronitrobenzene. It is produced and emitted to the atmosphere in flue gases during the combustion of municipal waste or in waste streams from chloralkali and wood preserving plants, and also several metallurgical industries. Now, as we have seen that these compounds, they are persistent, they can undergo long range transport, they have toxic effects, and they can bioaccumulate, they can biomagnify in the food chain. Hence, their production has to be limited, because as they accumulate and they can biomagnify in the food chain. So, if they are produced today and say by any means, if these compounds come into the living organism today, because of their property of persistence and bioaccumulation, biomagnification, in the future generations also we will see the presence of these compounds. So, their use has to be made with concern, caution, that is recommended. Thank you.